Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I wanted to share with you my Vanda blooms here in the sunshine. It is a beautiful autumn day here in Tennessee, and I found the name of this Vanda. So many of you have asked me if I knew her name. She is Vanda Tayani Cerise. So I just wanted to share with you the information about this Vanda if you can find one. These are beautiful, beautiful blooms. Wanted to give you an update on what she's looking like now. I can already tell that the roots have grown in this month that I've had her. Very happy to report. So her roots are looking good. I'm happy with her progress. I also wanted to show you my little green miniature phal that has not bloomed for me, rebloomed for me in 2.5 years. I am hoping this is the year that this little miniature is going to rebloom for me. But as you see, she's getting a new leaf. And the interesting thing about this is this is the first new leaf that she has grown since before I put her in water culture 1.5 years ago. She was just growing roots and no leaves, no blooms. And so I put her in moss last month, and I find it very interesting that now she's growing a new leaf. First one in about 1.5 years. So I just kind of wanted to give you all that heads up. Several of my subscribers have told me similar stories that when they put their miniatures in water culture, that they do find that their roots grow, but there's no new leaves, there's no new blooms. So I just wanted to pass off that little piece of information to you all. I thought maybe that would, maybe that would help you all. I also wanted to show you my Vandas spike. It looks like I'm going to have 7 blooms on this spike. I am so happy. I can't wait for this thing to bloom. So this is how I have it. Not really staked back, but I just didn't want that spike to keep moving forward. So I staked it this way. I think it's going to look really good this way. I just don't want any of those blooms touching the window because the nights are going to start getting cool here, and I don't want these buds touching the window and them freezing. Don't want that to happen. So I'm going to keep these buds toward the window until they start blooming out, and then I'll pull them in towards the room so that you can see. But I had to give you an update on those. And I've had several of you ask me about Epsom salts as a source of magnesium for your orchids. I was going to show you 2 of mine that I have been using Epsom salts with for the past month or so. This one here, the spike just turned purple all the way up. It was just purple all along this spike, and as you see along this leaf, there is still some little purple margin there. But about a month ago, I noticed that that spike had just turned purple. So I thought, okay, it needs a little bit of magnesium. So I use it a very small amount. I only use about 1/8 of a teaspoon per gallon of water. And what I do is I just let it set in that solution for about 30 minutes and then drain it off and then refill it with its water culture. This one is in water culture right here. And you can see the spike has already turned green again. And I'm thinking that in the next month or so, that red tip there is probably going to turn green as well. So I'm happy that that worked. And also, this is phal Marianne. And I noticed about a month ago, the spike just turned purple. So I started using that about once a week. I don't put it in my regular fertilizer. It gets fertilized one time, and then it gets the 1/8 of a teaspoon of the magnesium, the Epsom salts, every other time. So in other words, I'm going to fertilize, and then I'm going to use the Epsom salts the next time I water. So just thought I'd give you that little hint. You can still see that the leaf is a little bit purple. Now this bloom, as you well know, it is salmon pink. So this leaf should not be purple. I've noticed that a lot of times if the bloom has purple in it, sometimes when a new leaf starts coming in, the leaf will be purple, but all of these leaves have come in green. I've had this plant for about 8 years, so I know this plant pretty well. So the Epsom salts, just that low dose of Epsom salts, has really helped these plants. And of course, you all know that I leave bowls of water around my orchids. It helps with the humidity around the orchids, especially this time of the year because I have my heaters on back here. And also, as you see, I have some little, I think these are whiteflies. So whiteflies are attracted to a little bit of soapy water. This one is clean. But little fungus gnats, they love water. So instead of going on your plants, they'll usually try to take a swim in your water, and that's what you get. That is a really, really good way to keep your fungus gnats down. Also, I have a spray bottle where I just put a drop or two of dishwashing liquid in a bottle of water, and I spray if I can see that there's an infestation. Well, an infestation, that's really not what I'm talking about. If I see a few that are in the moss, let's put it that way. If you spray them directly, after you spray them with soapy water, they can't fly. So just keep that in mind. If you have an infestation, you're going to need to treat them with something different. But if you can keep the numbers low to begin with, then you're not going to have to treat an infestation. And I wanted to give you an update on my Dendrobium spikes. I love saying that. These are my Dendrobium spikes. These are the very first Dendrobium spikes that I have ever had. So I'm very proud of them. This is the one on my little miniature. I can't wait to see what this one looks like. And also I have 2 spikes on this one right here, and this one right here. So I cannot wait to see what these look like. So one of the questions that I've been asked a lot lately is, how are you going to fertilize this fall? Normally what I do is I make up my mind day by day how I'm going to fertilize. One of the things that I did when I was making, let's say, a mistake in fertilizing in the past was I would try to put it on a regular schedule in cooler fall and winter months. You really can't do that in fall and winter months, I have found. Let's say you have a nice warm day. That's the day that you're going to fertilize. Let's say you have a cold, rainy, or snowy day. I'm not going to fertilize that day at all. So make sure that you pull back on your fertilizer amounts because your temperatures and your fertilizer amounts go hand in hand. So you're not going to give a big whopping spring nitrogen dose to an orchid that is not actively growing in the winter. Lots of times they go through a rest period because of the lower temperatures, and so they don't need a lot of fertilizer in the winter. Now back here in my sunroom, I'm going to be able to get higher temperatures than I did in my house, so that's going to change a little bit for me. I'm just going to be watching to see what's in active growth, and I'll show you one that is in active growth. Okay, do you see these new Cattleya roots? Yes. Okay, this one is in active growth, and it is going to bloom in the early spring. So I'm going to be fertilizing this one. I'm not going to be fertilizing it quite as much as I did in the summer. I'm probably going to pull back on it a little bit, but I do have to remember that this one is in active growth, so this one does need more fertilizer than the ones whose roots aren't in active growth and there's not any new leaves forming. So my Vandas are in active growth. They're getting plenty of sunshine still. They're still getting highs of about 75 during the day. And so on sunny days, that's when I'll be doing my fertilizing with them. On cool, bleak, rainy, snowy days, that's not the days that I'm going to be putting fertilizer on them. That's when I've gotten burnt roots in the past. But as you see, when I have a sunny day, I'm going to try to go ahead and give them a good dose of fertilizer because they are all growing root tips here. Also new leaf here. So just watch your weather and take into consideration, like if you are growing in your house and it's only about 70 degrees with your high during the day, you're going to have to pull back on your fertilizer dose because the nitrogen is just not going to be able to break down as much as it did in the summer. I'm also asked really often if I use humidifiers back in my sunroom. No, I can't use a humidifier back here. That's one reason why I have bowls of water setting out to keep the humidity high around my plants, because as you see, I have a cedar ceiling back here. So I can't do a humidifier or it will ruin my cedar ceiling. So to keep everybody happy, I just keep those bowls of water. It's similar to a humidity tray. And it really does help to add humidity around the plant. Plus, as I said, you get that added benefit of it being, it really does attract fungus gnats. So it has two positives there. For one bowl of water, one bowl of soapy water has two benefits. And I have to show you my Norman's Miss Montclair by Cygnus Empire. I have nicknamed this now. My friend Rose said that the name of this orchid should be Einstein. I will show you why. Look at all the crazy roots. She said that it reminded her of Einstein's hair. So this one, I am now calling it Einstein. So this is going to be fabulous when it blooms out. I think I'm going to have 12 blooms on this one. And I'll show you the size of the blooms. Look at this. They're as big as the size of my fist. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful girl here. Well, I should say, beautiful Einstein. Thanks, Rose. And I have to share with you my white Christmas cactus. It's a little bit early this year. That's okay. This one bloomed all winter last year, and it bloomed on Easter as well. So I even found the name of this one. It's Schlumbergera White. Yes. So I just had to share this with you. I thought that was, it's beautiful. So I always love watching my Christmas cactuses come into bloom. So thank you all for going on my garden tour this week. It always seems to me like I give more tips during my garden tours than some of my tips videos. So I hope you all are just highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed. And we'll talk to you all next time.